Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is super exciting, you guys. Yearly roundup. This is going to be an all-out favorites video and just showing so much love to a bunch of products, and I have a mishmash for you guys today. We're talking high-end, we're talking drugstore, we're talking new releases of the year, or just new discoveries for me. So this is going to be an all-encompassing video of the makeup that I've been absolutely loving in most categories. So we're just gonna kind of go through how I apply makeup. I'm gonna show you guys these products in actions with some cutaways. It's gonna be super fun, and of course, hopefully super informative for you guys to see this sort of like overall love fest for the makeup that I've been loving this past year. So let's get straight into it. So let's start off with base, and I have two products. The one that I'm going to show you guys and my ultimate favorite foundation for the year is definitely going to be the one from Givenchy, the Prisme Libre Skin Glow. Why is mine still in a box? Well, I almost forgot about this foundation because I actually gave it to my mom. She was trying to replace the Givenchy Couture. I think it got discontinued maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. She had a backup. She finally went through it and she was really having a hard time choosing a new foundation. So I said, Mom, you have to try this. Like, I got this in the spring VIB sale just this past April, and I've been just loving it. And because I obviously do have quite a few foundations that I like to go through and try to use up here and there. Mine was really just used maybe 3-4 times before I gave it to her, but it left such an impression on me that when I was doing this list for the 2021 favorites, automatically this popped into my head, even though I didn't have it in my collection. So I repurchased it because I missed it so much. And I didn't even realize how much I missed it until I used it again. And by far, this has got to be the best foundation of the year. Granted, there haven't been that many releases, but in the ones that I have tried, this for sure is just the most beautiful foundation I've used in a long time. Now, I do have a full review of this foundation, which again, I will link down below. It is just an all-round, beautiful, glowy, plumping, dewy, youthful foundation. All those words, who doesn't want to have all those, descriptions when it comes to your skin? I put one pump usually all over my face. If I want a more kind of like true medium coverage, if I want less coverage, I put just literally half a pump full. I feel like this foundation is so liquidy and it just spreads on so easily on the skin. I use it with the kabuki brush. I feel that a sponge might pick up too much product, but I really do feel you can use pretty much any method of application with this foundation. And just depending on the coverage you want, like I said, you can go half a pump, a full pump. I did use a full pump today because I am filming and I wanted just kind of like a true base. And yet it still leaves your skin looking so natural, almost just like that lit within juicy glow. It doesn't look like makeup at all. It glides over any texture or anything that you want covered up. Now, the coverage isn't obviously super heavy, so you're not going to cover everything with a really opaque layer. You still may need to spot conceal here and there. And most importantly, for being sort of a glowy and enhancing foundation, it still stays on super well and long all day. I set it obviously with a powder, just especially in my T-zone area. Overall, I really feel this is a foundation for absolutely every skin type. I wouldn't be too concerned if you are oily. However, if you're oily and you do prefer a matte finish, this is not for you. This definitely gives just that really like youthful, naturally glowy finish. But again, no grease. Like, there's just no greasy feeling whatsoever with this foundation. Definitely a winner for this year. And then I discovered finally the MAC Studio Fix original formula, which I think was revamped. I just reviewed this not too long ago. And this is literally a foundation that just makes your skin look natural. It does have coverage, so you are wearing makeup, but yet the finish is, to me, very natural, and it just looks good no matter what. Some parts of the month, my skin isn't as happy. Like, there are a little bit more breakouts, or I just feel a little bit more like, I don't know, just blah, And I still feel once I put this on, it works. If you have a little bit of texture because you haven't exfoliated properly like you should have, it works if you feel like your skin is not overly moisturized because you've been lacking in drinking water. And it also, of course, works beautifully if your skin is in tip-top shape. I absolutely love it. I love the shade range because my goodness, with the amount of shades they have now and undertones, you are sure to find your perfect shade match. And I really appreciate that about this foundation. Next up, we have concealer. And you know what, guys? This is a sad state of affairs because, as you may or may not know, Marc Jacobs has left the building. I really believe it had to do with their distributor, and I think their contract ended. So I do feel the brand will come back. I really hope it does, because there were some serious winners in that makeup line, including a concealer. I'm gonna just grab it to show you guys quick because it is my current favorite concealer, but you can't get it anymore unless you have luck and you find it at Marshall's or Winners, or if it comes back in stock here and there on Sephora. Sometimes I think they're finding residual stock and they're just putting it out for sale, so you'd have to almost like really scan the site on a daily basis. But this was a beautiful concealer. Now, something that I've been loving as well, which is slightly different formula wise, but really effective in covering those dark circles. And let me tell you, being a mom, plus just naturally genetically, I do have quite a bit of thinner skin under my eyes, and I do have dark circles. This is just normal for me since I think, you know, birth, to be honest, with just the anatomy of my eye shape and so forth. I've been absolutely loving the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This is a gem from the drugstore, truly. It is one of the most thin formulas I have ever used, almost like serum-like, and yet it has coverage. Now, what I do with this particular formula is I take about half a pea size amount, put it in between my two fingers, dab it on under my eyes, just around my nose, and I let it sit. Because it is quite a liquidy serum, I do feel you need a good 30 seconds to a minute just to kind of let it settle in a little bit. Then you can go in, it's not fully dried down at that point, so don't worry, and you can go in and just pat it in place with your finger. I don't recommend a sponge. Maybe a brush would be okay, like a synthetic brush. It wouldn't absorb too much of the product. I do feel the finger is probably the best way to apply it because of how thin it is. Now, this creates almost like a film effect. You don't necessarily have to powder it down. I usually do a little bit just to avoid any creasing or anything like that. But as you guys can tell, it gives this like very alive look to the under eye area, brightens it without enhancing any darkness, because sometimes if it brightens it, it kind of just enhances the dark circles. It covers up a decent amount. It is a true underrated, untalked about, as far as I know, gem when it comes to concealer, and it's drugstore, so my goodness, the price is really unbeatable. Let's move on and set our face. I, of course, love the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. That is a constant love of mine. I just have a new one repurchased, ready to go. But I've been really enjoying other powders this year. And this one is a recent discovery and quite a gem from MAC Cosmetics. It is their blot powder. It only comes in one shade when it comes to the loose powder in medium, but it doesn't really have any color to it. It's a very neutral, non-existent color. This, if you've never used the blot powder in the compact, is essentially a no coverage, but just oil absorbing powder. It's unbelievable, truly, this particular formula. I take a little bit on a fluffy brush and I just go over my T-zone first, just to take down that shine. Again, there's no coverage added to this. There's no weight added. And then whatever's left on my brush, I just kind of like pat it in place all around my cheek area, which doesn't usually need as much setting down. And I'm telling you guys, the oils are at bay all day. It's cheesy, but it's true. This powder seriously keeps the oils in check, and it doesn't enhance texture, and it doesn't create extra coverage or weight, and it's MAC Cosmetics. It's not overly expensive, and I do find that I don't need to retouch up my skin during the day when I use that powder. They do make a blot powder in the compact if you need to touch up as well during the day. These are very underrated powders, in my opinion, that blot powder line. Okay, moving along to the brows. I'm not going to talk about all the brow products I use, but these two products I swear by, and I never want to use any other in this category. This is the, of course, Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I ran out of this and I started using other products instead, including the Anastasia pomade, which is good. I still feel that this one, though, gives a very nice defined eyebrow look, and it actually stays on all day, especially now in the winter when I'm putting sweatshirts off or changing clothes, like coming home and getting dressed up and bundled up again. I'm constantly just like, I don't know, like I feel like touching my eyebrows, and they still stay in place no matter how much I kind of like move them around. And then this is the NYX Lift and Snatch pen. I have it in ash brown, and as you guys can see in the video, it just creates a very beautiful thin brow hair. I swear by brow pens, and I feel like this one, out of all of the ones I've tried, including the ABH, including the MAC Cosmetics one, I feel like Stila was no-go pigment-wise. The Benefit one was okay, but again, it had the 3 prongs and the undertones are a little bit too warm. This one's the best. It is just the absolute best, and again, the price is you can't beat. You can't beat it. It goes on sale sometimes. If it's not on sale, it's still only $12. It lasts a very, very long time, and because it has a little ball inside, it is great. It lasts super long because you just have to reshake it up and it gets the product going. One of these will last me probably at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 months, because I think I bought it this past summer. Oh, and of course, the actual brow pen, it's super, super thin, and as you use it, it doesn't get kind of like mangled. It stays very, very precise. Next up are eyeshadow palettes, and today I'm wearing actually a palette that I wasn't going to include in my yearly favorites because I just filmed this particular look right before this video. And this is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. Now, I'm almost willing to now switch up what I was going to talk about in this video because I am so smitten after using it just the one time. I just can't believe how beautiful this palette is. So maybe I'll have a tie because I was going to do honorable mention, but I just feel this palette is something special. The quality is absolutely amazing. The mattes are pigmented, but not overly pigmented. So they go in and they blend very well. You can build them up. It's not like instant pigment, boom, and you're stuck unable to blend it out. The undertones are beautiful. It's a combination of warm undertones and cool undertones. And you can really swing between both types of looks. You can create quite a warm look with a lot of these shades here, especially on this side here. And then of course you can do something very like cool toned with a lot of these shades on this end. The pink here is absolutely amazing. Happiness is just the most beautiful dusty rose. Kind of reminds me of that signature 90s pink, you know what I mean, like pink wall type of thing. I just really, really enjoy this palette already, and like I said, it's only one use in, and I'm willing to just sort of like put it out there as my favorite palette of the year, or one of the two, because I will go ahead and talk about the one I was originally going to, and that's gonna be the Pat McGrath Odyssey palette. This one here, I'm pretty sure you can still purchase. It is limited edition, and so I hate talking about limited edition products, but this is a standout palette. She did a great job with it. It's very unique, but yet very wearable. It's that perfect combination. Again, the price was right for how many shades you're getting here, and you just have so many beautiful different shades where you think, no, it's not gonna really go. It looks like it's a strange mishmash of shades, but you can really create some unique looks that are easy to put together. Even for someone like me who doesn't like to play with color, I found this palette just so inspiring, and I reach for it when I want something a little bit more fun. And I also reach for it when I just want something really simple, because you can just really go in with the crease shade and one of the metallic shades and you're good to go. Right, moving along to mascara. Now this is not a new product for 2021. This came out last year and I just finally discovered it this year. This is insane. It's the Bite Beauty mascara. You guys, it is a very, very large wand that you think is gonna go really messy, and it doesn't. Yes, it is very intense. Absolutely. As you guys can see in the video, it goes on almost full power right off the bat, like 0 to 60, boom, right there. You can build it up, but be a little bit careful. You only need about 2 layers, I feel, to get the most dramatic lashes that I have ever had with mascara. It doesn't feel like it's weighing down your lashes at all. I wear contacts and I feel like it's super comfortable. It doesn't flake. I'm not getting smudging. It is just so, so beautiful, and yet very, very dramatic and intense at the same time. It's stunning. I think for me, I've been just obsessed with the Marc Jacobs at Lashed, and because that one is again gone, I felt like I had to start trying other mascaras, and I ended up trying this one and absolutely loving it. I mean, look at the lashes. It's insane, you guys. Moving along to the face. Now, bronzers. Oh, I fell in love with this bronzer, and I really didn't think I was going to. This is the Forever bronzer from Christian Dior. I wanted to get it initially because of the packaging. How do you resist this packaging? it is something special. You know, it has that quilting on it. It's very chic, it's very classy, and very signature, sort of like DIOR handbag look to the packaging. When I opened it, when I first got it, and I got quite a dark shade in the summer, number 6, I looked at it and it literally looked like chalk. Like, it looked so dry in the pan. I thought, there's no way I'm going to like this bronzer. There's no way, but I'm going to try it. I have it. You know, I bought it. Let's just give it a go. Number 6 is quite a dark shade. In the summertime though, it was perfect. It was perfect as a sort of bronzer. This just looked so natural on the skin because of its sort of dry texture. It didn't go on and create an instant, you know, blotch of color that you were trying to blend out. Something more emollient like the Marc Jacobs one could do that. The Charlotte Tilbury one's quite emollient as well. I think it has hyaluronic acid in it. It still blends out pretty good, but this one here, you're never gonna run into that issue of putting it on and having to worry about really going hard to blend it out. Because of the dryness of the formula, it acts like a powder, kind of like just a skin powder. And yet it has, of course, the tint and color, and you go in and it just looks like your skin. It literally looks like skin. The effect is so natural, so beautiful. I can't believe how much I love this formula. I ended up getting the shade 4 for winter. You know, it gives enough color without being too intense where, you know, I look like I've just come back from a trip. Just kind of creates a little bit of dimension, a little bit of warmth to the skin, which is just perfect for the dead of winter. I love these bronzers. DIOR did an amazing job with them. It's a super, super beautiful formula. We're gonna go ahead and put on some blush, and Pat McGrath came out with the most beautiful blush. These were released this year and they are absolutely stunning. When I first got them, I was just blown away with how they applied. These go on with pigment, and yet they blend out so beautifully as you move it up. And initially you might think, well, they're blending out too much, you know, and I'm not getting maybe enough impact. But you go in 1 or 2 more times and you get that built up color, and yet they still blend out so naturally, you know, up the cheek, up to the temple. If you're debating whether to try one of these, I really do feel Nude Venus is the most wearable shade, and it's the one I reach for the most. It has definitely more of a warm undertone, but there's something about this shade that looks really natural with any type of makeup look. Normally with this particular eye look, I would have done a little bit more of a pinkier, cooler toned blush, but I still feel this works and doesn't fight with this really quite like cool violet-y makeup. And that was a true test, actually. It was like, oh, like this is my favorite blush of the year, but I'm not sure, is it going to go with this eye look that I filmed before this video? And it does. It still looks very good because it is such a beautiful universal shade. Pat McGrath comes out with these now blush palettes with usually 2 blushes and a highlighter. I feel like if you want to dibble dabble in her blushes and highlighters, that's going to be a perfect opportunity to try one of these formulas. It's absolutely stunning and my favorite formula, maybe ever, but definitely this year. For sure, hands down. All right, you guys, highlighter. And I couldn't pick just one because I initially thought it was going to be the Christian DIOR highlighter that I was going to go with. I feel like, again, the packaging is stunning. The formula is very kind of just that nice glazed, non-glittery look, although the silver one is quite glittery, just keeping that in mind. But most of them, like this pink one here, is just that very natural, subdued sheen to the skin. Lightly fragrance, but nothing crazy. And again, the packaging is stunning. I absolutely love this highlighter, and I put it on this side of my face. And as you can see, it goes on just like very almost like, do I dare say natural? But it does. It just creates a very smooth, sheeny effect to the skin, very healthy looking. I love this one in the pink shade. Very, very beautiful. But I also just recently fell in love with the Makeup by Mario highlighter. And yes, this one is definitely a little bit more glittery. This is in the lightest shade Opal, and it definitely does have some micro glitter, but the formula is so incredibly creamy and soft that I feel like the overall effect, it just kind of like melts into the skin, and then you do get a little bit of glitter just sort of reflecting in the light, but nothing too crazy. I tend to like to use this with a little bit of a bigger brush just to give a more diffused look, and I do feel that the price is right. And the formula is just really, I think, underrated. Like, it just looks like it's gonna go glitter bomb, but it doesn't, and yet it just gives the most beautiful, reflective, just sheeny, icy look to the skin. I absolutely love both of these. I think this one from Makeup by Mario is a little bit less expensive than the DIOR. I recommend them both, maybe just depending on, you know, the colors that you want to go with, although they each have, I think, at least 5 shades. So you're bound to find whatever undertone and depth of highlighter that you want. They're both absolutely stunning. So, last but not least, we're gonna do a lip, and this doesn't change really from year to year. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillowtalk. I usually just use a very, very small amount of this just to sort of like create a nice lip line effect. I recently discovered these lipsticks at the drugstore and I can't stop buying them. I want to buy more. These are the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. Various formulas. There's sheer, there's frosty, there's a cream formula. These were on for $5.99, $4.99? I think $4.99 because they were $5. And I bought a bunch of pink shades and I went back for other shades as well, some nudes, some sheers. I'm in love. I cannot believe how good this formula is, and it's so cheap. Like, why have I not discovered this earlier? The lipstick is just a very standard lipstick, but there's no scent to it. It's creamy, but not slippy, so it does have substance to it. It lasts a good, 3-4 hours. Typical bullet lipstick, no different than a typical bullet from, say, Charlotte Tilbury in the Kissing formula. Like, it's very similar in that sense, right? Like, it's gonna last a typical 3-4 hours max. It is absolutely beautiful. The packaging is nothing crazy, right? It's not overly luxe, but it's still good. I just have to take the UPC coat off this side just to make it look more cohesive. I don't know. I'm just so in love. So many colors to choose from nudes to reds to browns to pinks. Like, I don't know what to say, you guys, but if you haven't tried these yet, I really suggest it because for the price, these are amazing classic bullet lipsticks. Absolutely amazing. And finally, we added a little bit of gloss, and I love these glosses. I'm very picky when it comes to lip gloss. I don't want it to be too sticky, although I used to absolutely love the MAC lip glosses back in the day, but my hair would totally get stuck in those. Like, I remember that. So I kind of like veered away from that formula a long time ago, actually, and haven't been using gloss very much until I discovered these ones from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Jewel Lips, and I have it in Walk of No Shame and I have it in Pillowtalk. I just topped my lipstick with this particular shade in Pillowtalk, and it just created a shine. It has like a very nice emollient quality to the lips. It's not sticky, but it's not slippy. It's just that perfect kind of like cushiony effect. There is some sparkle in it, but it's very, very micro glittery, so there's no texture. The scent, I didn't really recall anything. Just a slight vanilla, so nothing crazy, no weird taste. Flat padded brush on it, so super easy to apply. I'll put a little bit more on. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Packaging is to die for because it's Charlotte Tilbury, so you can't go wrong there. It does come in a bunch of shades. She does do some limited edition shades as well, so definitely something for everyone with that lip gloss. And if you're a lip gloss lover, you will definitely appreciate these lip glosses. So pretty. All right, you guys, that is it. I'm a little bit out of breath, but I didn't want to make this video overly long, and I just wanted to choose like the best of the best that I have been loving this year. Of course, there's so many other products that are really, really good. I do feel that this year was a little bit kind of like limited in how much was released, which is not a bad thing. I think sometimes if there's too many releases, you just get bombarded and it's too overwhelming and too expensive, really, at the end of the day. So I do feel this year the releases were kind of small, but they were really thought out for the most part. And I'm curious, you guys, do you want to see a video with kind of like the worst or my least favorite products of the year? If you guys want to see sort of like my fails of 2021, let me know down below. Also, let me know your guys' top products. What are a few products that you guys have been just absolutely blown away with this particular year? So before you guys go today, definitely subscribe, ring that bell to get notified of my future uploads, which is of course very heavy beauty, a little bit of fashion, a little bit of health. And I would love to see you guys back here again. I'm gonna leave you with a video. Yeah, I'll leave you with the HUDA beauty video. That's the Rose Quartz palette, and I'll link that one for you guys to watch next because I really do feel that, yeah, I slipped that in today as a favorite eye palette, but no regrets. And you guys can see why. Lots of nice swatches in that video as well, close-ups for you guys too. So click that video next, enjoy. I feel like this is an appropriate video to say Happy New Year. Let's hope for a beautiful 2022 of self-growth, self-reflection, because let's focus on ourselves this upcoming year. I wish you guys all the best, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye, guys.